Every Monday, I try to bring some reality, some Jeff Ward-based reality to many of the overreactions from the weekend. In this case, some of the overreactions have been mine for the past few months, so I just throw them in there and act like they happened on the weekend. So this is overreactions versus reality. Overreaction. This past weekend was too much. Jimbo Fisher is going to be whacked. Jimbo Fisher is the head coach at Texas A&M. He's going to get whacked. Wonder how many times somebody said it over the weekend. That's it. That's enough. I've read it in a number of places. That's it. That's enough. No more. Reality. I don't see it. I don't see it. And I don't see it because I don't know how. It's easy to react, to overreact. It's easy to point a finger at the guy. The guy deserves every bit of it. He probably deserves more criticism. I get it. I mean, it's long overdue. Is the firing justified? Absolutely, it's justified. Here's the problem. I don't see how. I'm not saying he shouldn't be whacked. He should. He should have been coaching at A&M this fall. I just don't see how Texas A&M could pull this off. I can see a panic-driven firing, I guess, and then I don't know how you scratch off that $80 million check. I can see it. I mean, the anger should be there, and I'm sure it is. A&M has been staring at, the football program at Texas A&M has been staring at a great opportunity for an SEC championship game. I'm not saying an SEC championship. I'm saying an SEC championship game. It's been right there. The league is down pretty dramatically. The opening is there. It's not too much to ask after 6 years and $100 million that just maybe you play for a championship. That's all. I don't even think they're saying you have to put a trophy away. Just get there, man. The SEC West has been very winnable. I mean, it's there for the taking. It's not a stretch to say, man, you should at least make it to the game. It's not too much to ask that a $100 million guaranteed contract gets you in the competition for once, just once. The guy has been, here's the thing at A&M and Jimbo Fisher, he's been given everything. Can you imagine what Deion Sanders could do with that? He's been given everything. There are no excuses. None. Zero. You can't even find them. You can't make them up, and if you try to make them up, shut your face. So I don't know what A&M is going to do. I don't know what they will do. I don't know what they can do. It doesn't really make sense to me to pay somebody $80 million to go away and then turn around and pay somebody else a bunch of money. I'm not sure it's even the best idea at this point. They can't panic, and they can't whack him with no plan. It feels like they want to panic and whack him, and it's completely understandable, but you better watch out. You can't whack him with no plan. And I don't know of any plan in the works, and I don't know what plan could be in the works. It would be understandable if A&M did panic. You should be panicking now. You should be beyond frustrated. You can't stand the guy. Everybody dislikes him. He is pompous. He is irritating. He's all of those things. But I don't see how you can panic right now and get into another terrible arranged marriage, because that's what this is. It's a terrible, as if there's good arranged marriages. I don't know. Maybe sometimes, but this is a terrible arranged marriage. You're screwed. I think you're screwed. Right now, you're screwed. You want to know how bad it's been? For $100 million. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, okay? That's not a bunch of incentives put out there and all that stuff. They'd love for him to reach the incentives. He can't even do that. It's just $100 million guaranteed, and to buy him out is probably, $77 million and some change right now? And he is, at best, mediocre again. So what has happened now? Well, the $100 million arranged marriage just had another road loss. This time to a mediocre Tennessee team in a game that A&M had to win, right? I mean, you keep saying these things. You keep saying them. You've got to win. You've got to win. You've got to win this one, man. You've got to for a change. Win one. They had to win this game. The offensive genius that is Jimbo Fisher doubled down by hiring another offensive genius by the name of Bobby Petrino to call the plays, or sort of call the plays, or whatever. We're going to double down with offensive brain power is what A&M has said that they're going to do. It's what the message sent was. We're going to double down on offensive brain power. Do you know what that offensive brain power did against a mediocre Tennessee team? It put up 13 points. 13, kids, for $100 million. Not to mention whatever Bobby Petrino is paid. So the offensive genius just lost another road game, 20-13. Here's the data. Well, here's the headline, Yahoo Sports. Jimbo Fisher's woes continue as Texas A&M drops 8 straight road game, falling 20-13 to number 19 Tennessee. Oh, but Jeff, they're ranked. Shut up. Get out of here. They have no excuse. So let's see. They're now 2-2 in the SEC in year 6 under Jimbo Fisher. A&M has now lost 8 consecutive road games, and they have a combined 8-12 conference record dating back to the 2021 season. The only time they were any good was during the pandemic. 2020, the pandemic-affected season. Other than that, the Aggies are 34-23 overall, with 17-29 in the SEC. 17-29. In other words, they've loaded up on cream puffs to pad that record. And in the league, they're 17-29. Over the past 3 seasons, the Aggies are 8-12 versus conference competition. Nice. All right, let's see. It's a 10-year, $95 million fully guaranteed contract with a giant buyout. What a deal. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't think you know what you're going to do. And I don't think you can really do much. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if there was some really good plan, because I can't think of a really good plan right now. So the only good plan right now is probably just turn your head and let the guy finish it out and wait until you lose to Texas, and you can feel really good about firing. That's the only plan I can see. So no, the overreaction, he's going to get whacked. I don't buy it. I don't. Overreaction. Your Dallas Cowboys are playoff roadkill. Reality. Not now. Not now. Not after this weekend. They not only got playoff life, but they were just given a gift. This past weekend was the gift that keeps giving for your Dallas Cowboys. It doesn't solve all the problems. It doesn't make up all the ground on Philadelphia and San Francisco, but it goes a long way. It's better than it was on Friday. Absolutely. Man, the sound in that building should have been cheers, and it should have been, boys, you got to go to work now, because you've just been given a gift. The gift was San Francisco losing. If you had this in your office pool, you're a liar. San Francisco losing to the Cleveland Browns. It's just kind of funny. And then the Philadelphia Eagles lost, ready for it, to the Jets. Not the Aaron Rodgers Jets either. He was hanging around, though. They lost to the Jets. They can't outscore the Jets. I'm not going to say right now that getting a top 4 playoff seed is easy, but Dallas was in the hole 3 games in the NFC. Maybe you could argue 4. And now if they were to split with Philadelphia, don't tell me right now, given what Philadelphia has done, given that Philadelphia has just been less than stellar, they turned around and lost to the Jets. They couldn't score against the Jets. Don't tell me right now you don't think this Dallas team has life. Been given life. Saying they split against Philadelphia is not outrageous by any stretch. I'm not sure, you might be called a face painter, but I'm not sure sweeping Philadelphia is that outrageous. So it is life. really, really good breaks all the way around. So, they could split with Philadelphia. A top 4 seed is not outrageous at this point, and don't laugh. Possibly a top 2, and here's why. You're going to laugh. Here's why. You get Philadelphia twice. You get the Lions. Now, the Lions, they have to scoreboard watch against the Lions, but what if they swept? What if? Now, there's a catch to all this because it sounds pretty good. It sounds, wow, Jeff, you're right. The face painters have been given a gift. They're extra lucky. Things all went their way this past weekend. Dallas screwed around, got their face kicked in against San Francisco. San Francisco misses a makeable field goal against the Cleveland Browns. Man, congratulations, Dallas. There is a catch, though. You know what the catch is? You can't lose. You can't lose tonight against the Chargers. I said on Friday, a Dallas loss against the Chargers sends them into a tailspin and they freak out for good reason. You can't lose against the Chargers tonight. You can't. You can't. They need to get hot. They need to start playing well. They can look up. Look, I think I'll write off San Francisco as just a bad day, but I think most people are now starting to see the trend with Philadelphia and saying, wait a minute, if Dallas were playing well, when Dallas was playing well, you could see them beating Philadelphia. Dallas needs to get hot. They lose to the Chargers. It's a dumpster fire. Overreaction. Oh, man. Deion Sanders will be Coach of the Year. Jeff Ward, overreaction from about mid-August until, about 2.5 days ago. Deion Sanders will be Coach of the Year. Reality, not now. No way. Had you told me in August, no one even tried, but let's just pretend for a second. Had you said in August, Oklahoma coach Brent Venables would be the clubhouse leader, although I don't think he is. I think the guy at Washington's got to be. But either way, Brent Venables is in the conversation. Had you said in August that Brent Venables, had you said it in September that Brent Venables of Oklahoma would be the clubhouse leader, I would have laughed in your face and said, pay me now. So I said Deion Sanders would be Coach of the Year at 6 wins. If they could just play 30 minutes a game, he'd get it. He'd get 7 or 8 wins. But the problem is you got to play 30 more minutes, and they kind of suck for those other 30 sometimes. They don't have 60 minutes in them, which isn't all that surprising. But you can't lose at home to Stanford and be Coach of the Year. Well, there's a lot of good stuff there. I don't think it wipes out the interesting part, but I do think it brings reality back to, in the end, it's a pretty simple game, but you can't be Coach of the Year and be ahead by 29 points to Stanford at home. At Stanford. We weren't even sure they played football anymore until this weekend. Thought they'd quit. It's like, we're going to have multiple teams of water polo and no football. So they're in Boulder, and Colorado has a 29-point lead. They lose 46-43 in double overtime in Boulder. You cannot do that, and you cannot be Coach of the Year. No, I'll stop. If Colorado were to somehow go psycho and just sweep, I guess I would change my mind. But at this point, it's pretty hard to give somebody Coach of the Year when you lose at home to Stanford. I think it's written down somewhere. You can't lose to a team that's no longer going to play football. It's not okay. Overreaction. The 49ers are going into a meltdown. That's it, Jeff. Look at them. They suck. What a mess. They're going nowhere fast. Go get him, Dallas. Yeah, right. Reality. None of those things is true. None of the overreactions are even close, in my opinion, unless Brock Purdy gets hurt again. There's too many stars. But Jeff, you know what? San Francisco lost to Cleveland. It was a good loss. Yeah, there's such a thing. There's such a thing. It exists. Let's put it that way. They were due for a bad game. You physically in the NFL just can't stay that sharp. It's too hard. It's too brutal. So they were due. They're due for a bad game. Here's why I say it was a good loss. In fact, you find yourself being really impressed all over again. They're playing a really good Browns defense. Really good Browns defense. They lose both Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey. Got it? We don't know yet. Now, there's the storyline. We don't know how badly they're hurt, but they didn't play for a lot of that game. And guess what? They lose those two guys. Most teams would curl up in a ball and be finished. They lose those two, and they're a makeable field goal away from winning a game in which they played horribly against a really good defense on the road. That's a good loss. Except, one thing I've said from the beginning is that letting a superstar clutch field goal kicker like Robbie Gould go could haunt them, and it did. They should have won the game. They had a makeable field goal. They leave there. They end up beating the Browns. It would have been, 20-19? They kicked that field goal. And they beat the Browns on the road 20-19. And you know what all of us are saying? We're talking about how great they are because they could play horribly. They could lose two of the best offensive players, the best running back in the game today, maybe the offensive MVP of the season, and Deebo Samuel. And their left tackle is hurt too. And they beat Cleveland on the road. We'd be talking about how great they are. So it's a good loss. It should tell you how good they are. And until Brock Purdy disappears or he loses an arm again this year, you don't pick against them. If there is such a thing as a good loss, that's it. The fact that they can play that badly against a really good defense on the road and should have won doesn't mean they're falling apart. Doesn't mean they're melting down. Doesn't mean they're easy to get. It means they're really that good. Now, there's other teams you can find holes. You can probably say, yeah, they're going to have peaks and valleys. But San Francisco should have won a game in which they had their D game on. Borderline F. And they still should have won. All right, 512-834-1027.